Those of you who owe me homeworks, don't, I am not the teacher that says, you owe me 8 homeworks, so when they're all done, show me. No, show me as you're getting through so we can continue to bump your grades up. Deal? Yeah, 35, 36? 21, 22? Or 21, 22, excuse me. Cool. All right.
Is 21, 22 odds or like
Odds be fine. All right. Y'all ready? Where can I sit today? Can I sit here?
No, that's my seat. This is also my seat, but that's oh, sorry, we can sit there. I'm so sorry.
Okay. All right, so I'm on 2 different boards. Can you see one of the 2 boards? You two? Not in your way at all? I mean, I might be in your way for that one though, but that's the same, right? All right. So talk to me, friends. What did we see on the page 69 and 70 that I could help you with? What problem? Yo. No, it's just first. Yeah.
8.
Number 8. Let's take a look at number 8. Oh, you know what? Thank you for asking about number 8. Number 8's a great problem. And I'm going to tell you why number 8's a great problem. Okay? So it's equal to 0. There's a 1 out front, and we multiply, so we get positive 6. So a lot of people go right to, well, in order to get to 6, you could go 1 times 6. And then 1 times 6, both signs have to be positive. 1 times 6, if I add 1 and 6 together, I get 7. And then sometimes you lose it a little bit. Okay? So then you have to realize that 2 and 3 multiply together to give me 6. 2 and 3 both being positive add together to give me 5. And so bring this down so I get x squared plus 2x plus 3x plus 6, because that comes down. I have an x in common. I have a 3 in common. A couple of you are talking a little too much. I want to make sure we have the good understanding, friends. I want to brag about us. So that's what it factors to. So that means that x is equal to -2 and x is equal to -3. Okay? So that's how you would look at number 8. Oh, the reason it becomes negative, that's a great question. So I'm going to set these equal to 0. So I have x plus 2 equals 0 and x plus 3 equals 0, right? And then in order to get x by itself, I'd have to subtract 2, so I get x equals -2. Subtract 3, x equals -3. So it's opposite when it's grouped. Okay? All right. What else did you see that I can help you? Yeah. 18. All right. Let's take a look at number 18. 15. Good one to ask about. Thank you. So the big thing on number 15 is one of the sides is not equal as we sit and look at it. Agree? So I need to start moving things over. So I'm going to add x squared to both sides. So now notice I'm putting the x squared underneath the x squared. Is that okay? And then I'm going to subtract the 2x, and I'm going to put it under our x term. Okay? By me doing this, that cancels, so that's going to give me equals 0 on the right side. Combine these together, that gives me 3x squared. Combine those together, that gives me -6x. Okay? You following my lead? Cool. All right. So being that we have an x squared term and an x term, we don't really plug a 0 in any place on this. What we do is we look and say, okay, what do I have in common between these two? And I'd say I have a 3 and an x in common. If I factor 3x out of 3x squared, I'm left with x. The minus sign comes down. If I factor 3x out of 6x, I'm left with a minus 2. Those are both going to be equal to 0. So I'm going to say 3x is equal to 0, and x minus 2 equals 0. If I divide both sides by 3 here, 0 divided by 3 this week is going to be 0. Add 2, x equals 2. Is that okay? Yeah. Number
Or sorry, 8, sorry.
8? I just did 8. It's 8's right there. 6. 6, you got it. Is that mine? Not sure. 6, correct? You're good. Number 6, very similar. This one's a little different. All right. Shh. All right. Number 6, how many solutions should we have or could we have? Yes, why 3? Well, highest exponent of 3, right? Make sense? All right, so this is going to say that we have 3 solutions because we have that highest exponent. Okay, so I'm just going to keep that in mind. All right, what I'm going to do before I start factoring it is I'm going to look for a greatest common factor amongst 4x to the third, 8x squared, and negative 12x. So let's talk to the numbers first. What's the biggest number that I can take out of 4, 8, and 12? 4. 2 works, but 2's not the biggest. 4 is going to work. Okay? What's the maximum number of x's I can take out of each of my terms? A single x. All right? So if I take 4x out of 4x to the third, I'm left with x squared, x times x. If I factor a 4x out of 8x squared, I'm left with a 2x. If I factor a 4x out of negative 12x, I'm left with a negative 3. So do we feel comfortable with what we have so far? I got coffee someplace. Okay, so I'm going to bring this straight down. So we're going to factor it first, and then we'll set each part equal to 0. So let's factor this. So there's a 1 in front of this. 3 times 1 is negative 3. Plus minus are the signs, agreed? And the only way I get 3 is 1 times 3. Now here's the question. Is there somehow that 1 and 3 being added together add up to 2 when one of them's negative? Yeah, so negative 1x plus 3x gives me positive 2. Agreed? So I'm going to bring this straight down, x squared. Bring this straight down, minus 3. Now I'm going to, whatever order I want with this, as long as the signs come with it. Factor out an x, and x minus 1. Plus sign comes down. Factor out a 3, x minus 1. So I get x minus 1 here. And what goes in the other one? X plus 3. Very good. Okay, so now these were equal to 0 because we had that in the beginning. So I'm going to go 4x is equal to 0, x minus 1 equals 0, and x plus 3 equals 0. So if I divide both sides by 4, what's 0 divided by 4? 0. There's one answer. Add 1 to both sides. X equals 1. Subtract 3 from both sides. X equals negative 3. There's my 3 answers. Anything else you want to go over? Anything you want to see? How much? Okay. Take a look. What you got? 5? Cool. Number 5, we have 2x squared equals negative 8x. So it's not equal to 0 right now. So what I want to do is I'm going to move the 8x over. So I'm going to add 8x to both sides. I cannot combine the 2x squared and the 8x. I can't make it bigger, so it's just going to be 2x squared plus 8x. Those cancel each other out, so that gives me 0. Both terms have x, so I'm going to factor a 2x out of both. That's my greatest common factor. That leaves me an x plus 4. These are equal to 0. So 2x is equal to 0, and x plus 4 is equal to 0. Divide each side by 2 here. 0 divided by 2 is goose egg. And then minus 4, x equals negative 4. Those are my solutions to the problem. Is it done?
Not enough.
Nice.
You just walked in the You just like,
A favor?
bro.
What?
I don't understand why that was so funny and it was just nothing that's funny.
I understand.
Just walk, guy.
All right. Anything else, or are we good in the hood? 18? You got it. All right. So we got that 0x there. How should I go about doing this problem? What do you think? So the tough thing about this, I wondered, let's try this. If I multiply those together, do I get negative 16? That gives me negative, negative. And so I want the factors of 16 that would add up to 0. So 4 and negative 4. 4 times negative 4 is negative 16. 4 plus negative 4 is 0. So, and this one, there's a couple ways to do this one. This one I think is going to work out just fine, though, if we do it this way. So then I have a 2x in common there. And that gives me x plus 2. The minus sign comes down. I have a 4 in common between those. X plus 2. So the goofy thing about this one, so I will tell you, if this was a factoring problem, there's something that's happening that we don't necessarily want, because that right there, what I highlighted in yellow, is not truly factored all the way. But because we are solving these, it'll go ahead and work out appropriately because it's equal to 0. Okay? So I get x plus 2 equals 0 and 2x minus 4 equals 0. So this is not all the way factored. But because we're solving it, it will work. So here I'm going to subtract 2. Here I'm going to add 4 and divide by 2. So I get that. Now, the reason I say it's not all the way factored is this region right here. Actually, if I truly wanted to factor it all the way, the yellow highlighted, I could factor a 2 out and then keep the x plus 2. So if I went and solved these, notice I get the same exact answer. So the answers are the same, and that's the nice thing about it, but this would be the true factored form. But if we were just solving it because there was an equal sign, we know that there's an equal sign means we're trying to solve for the letter, this one does work without having to worry about the greatest common factor. All right. Anything else? Are we feeling okay? Let's see. So friends, I want to give you the opportunity to work on this. Now, what saddens me is I give a lot of times time to work and some choose not to. And unfortunately, some that choose not to turns into a few that choose not to. And then a couple that choose not to. And then more than that choose not to. And then all of a sudden, once we realize it, it's like no one's working. So I would ask you, please, please, please work on this and let's make sure that we feel comfortable with it. If you would like, you are welcome to have your phone out watching my video, because I'm going to give you 1 through 21 odd. So I just need to tell you that next week, I believe, because we'll start reviewing, we will have a test, and we're going to have a review for the test, which will be something that I want you to work on. We don't have it yet, but once you have the review, you can have that out. But take this opportunity to work on what I gave you. Okay? See how you do. And again, if you wanted to have your phone out to help you, this should be on Schoology, I believe.
Yeah.
Cool.